Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Michelle here with us, and she's a transformational coach. She helps teens and adults. So, Michelle, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, everyone. As Tony said, my name is Michelle. I'm originally from the UK. That's why I have this funny accent. My role here in this universe is to help teens and emerging adults gain more confidence, gain more clarity on who they are and how they are in the world and how they like to work. And my job is to kind of help them. Explore better majors in college, but then also the emerging teens are failing to launch. So my job is to kind of get them out into the world and to kind of give them the skills and tools to kind of help them launch themselves and to get them out of the house because they may have come back home to live.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of the accent, I lived in London for about 20 years, and I can say you have an amazing accent. I
Thank
sort
you.
of kept my strong accent even all over the years, that I was living in London. But anyway, so Michelle, like, what inspired you to actually start this business?
So it's funny because I used to be a teacher. I used to be a physical education and health teacher. I did that for 18 years, and then I retired from the classroom and wanted to do something else. And I got a little bit overwhelmed, and so I actually needed a life coach myself to kind of help me get myself back on track. And I liked what she did with me. She was in the health and wellness space, and so she resonated with me being a physical education teacher. And then I did a course with her. I did a certification course with her, and then I started coaching women. And then what happened when I was coaching the women, after a while, they were like, can you help my son? And I'm like, why? What's going on? And they're like, well, he's come back home from college and he doesn't have a job and he's not doing anything. And you used to be a teacher, so could you help him? And I was just like, well, maybe let me see what would happen. And so I started working with the emerging adults, and it was fabulous because we got him out of the house and got him launching into the world and got him a job and everything like that. So that's kind of how I pivoted. So I came out of the classroom and then decided to work with adults, and now I kind of feel like I'm going back into the classroom, so to speak, but not in a physical school, just to kind of help these teens and emerging adults be successful. So, yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Exactly, wonderful. And yeah, so can you tell us a little bit more about what do you do as a transformational coach?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned briefly in my introduction, so with the teens, my role is to kind of help them make better choices when it comes to going to college, or if college is not something that they want to do, then looking at the occupations that actually match their skills, match their interests, match how they like to work and the work environment they like to kind of put themselves in. And then we kind of help them make those choices, and then it's kind of like a backwards design because I feel the majority, not every student, doesn't know what they want to study when they go to college. They just know that they want to go to this college. However, having that idea of, you know what, this is the major that I kind of would like to go and do because this is what this test kind of said or gave me a list of all the occupations that kind of match me. It'll be a little bit easier for parents to have that conversation with their teens, and it will probably save them money because changing majors is going to cost money because they're going to stay an extra year, so that's an extra maybe 20, $30,000 that you weren't expecting to pay for, or they may transfer to another school depending on which schools that they're going to. So again, transfer fees and all of those things, and it may be more school fees. So with what I do with the teens, my job is to kind of help the parents spend less money and for the teens to have an idea of who they are and what actually will match them when it comes to being an adult and getting a job. And then for the for the emerging adults, my job is to for them to have more confidence because coming out of college, it's the job market is a little bit rough right now. So, the expectations of I'm going to go and earn $100,000 coming out of college is not happening because there are so many people applying for entry level jobs now. And so that can be disheartening. And also them comparing themselves to their peers and how successful their peers are. So their confidence can be shot. That's gonna, have pretty poor motivation skills to kind of go up and get going. They may be playing video games in the basement and not doing anything. So my job is to kind of work out what is going on, help them achieve small goals. So we'll do some goal setting, and then my job is there as the accountability person to make sure that they are achieving these goals and achieving the main goals of getting a job, making sure that they're financially stable, having more confidence in themselves, and eventually getting out of the house and being able to adult and having those skills.
Totally, yeah. And why do you think it's important to actually hire someone like you? I mean, one of the things that I've seen over the years, working with clients and so on, I see that sometimes parents come to me and they say, "Oh, Tony, if I'm working with someone who is a teenager, I used to work with a number of tennis players and stuff." So they usually say and repeat the same thing to their child, to their teen child, like so many times. And then sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But, they tell me, okay, can you talk to them about this? We talk and then, this is implemented. So, like, how do you help about these kind of things?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a parent myself, so it's very hard because we're invested and we love our child dearly and we want them to succeed. And, it can be seen as nagging. It could be seen as, putting pressure as well, on the teen or the emerging adult, and they just don't need the pressure. And so having that outside person, I'm not going to put pressure. I'm going to have some expectations, but I'm not going to put the pressure and I'm going to listen. And it sounds funny and horrible, but sometimes parents don't listen, as you said. They don't listen. It's kind of like, in my day, this is what we did. And just to let everyone know, things have changed since, I've grown up, since probably you've grown up. The world is a different place. There are different things going on. These mobile devices, we never had them. And so that's also a factor. We've also had COVID. So there are lots of other factors that parents are probably not thinking about because it's just like, they've seen their kid be successful at high school and then college and they've graduated and everything and got the high GPAs, but it can be a shock of, well, why is my kid not launching? Why, we've given them all the tools. And so my job is to kind of find out where they're lacking and what they're struggling with and to kind of support the parents because my job is to get them out the house. And I may give the parents a little bit advice, but I'm mainly there for the emerging adult just to kind of again get them going. And then there's certain things that are not being taught in college. Some of the social skills are not taught in college. And plus, parents don't have time. They have a certain amount of time, but they don't have as much time as I do to kind of sit down and say, okay, this is not going to work. So let's come up with another plan. And then, I can be there as the accountability person because, we're all busy. So again, I feel like just being that objective person is helpful. And they're probably, as you said, they listen to you, they listen to me, but they don't want to listen to their parents because their parents are too close and dear and everything. But then they also don't want to upset their parents or feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Let their parents down. And so there is that pressure as well, that the teens and the emerging adults can have, that they're going to let their parents down. So, you know, and that's why I would say it takes a while for these emerging adults to make changes, even though they want to instantaneously. It doesn't work like that. It takes time and it takes progress. So it takes time, and
Okay,
it's a
excellent.
marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, exactly. But then I'm sure they start seeing changes as soon as they start working with you because I'm
Yeah.
sure you get into the right direction. So,
Yeah.
in terms of working with you or finding out more about you or connecting to you, how people can actually do that?
Yeah. So I have a website. It's michelle-hibbert.com, and all of my details are on there. I am on LinkedIn, and so if you look me up as Michelle Hibbert on LinkedIn, I am there as well. I am on Facebook, and that is Michelle Hibbert LLC. And then on Instagram, it's Michelle H. Life Coach. So I'm on all platforms. And then if people want to call me, my number is on my website and all on those social media platforms.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. And yeah, so anyone watching us, you can check out the links in the description of this episode on how to actually contact Michelle. And on top of that, if you have any questions for Michelle or me, you can ask them in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer those. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. Michelle, thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you for sharing your story as well. And see you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.
Thank you.